Two of Claire's hired goons yanked me off the porch before I even had time to set down the groceries. One was bald, tattoos crawling from his neck to his knuckles. The other looked like someone had carved rage into a cinder block and gave it his. I never got the chance to tie my shoes. They flung my phone into a ditch and drove like hell had them on payroll. Asphalt gave way to dirt. Fields stretched out forever, empty, cold, wind whipping like it had something to prove. They stopped. Just like that. Middle of nowhere. No homes, no lights. Just the crunch of tires on gravel and her. Claire. She stood there like some magazine. Cover, stilettos sinking into the earth, leather skirt slicing the wind, blood-red lips curled into a grin. One hand held a thick envelope, the other pure arrogance. "Hey, babe," she purred like we were on a coffee date. "So glad you could make it. This won't take long." I didn't answer. Couldn't. I just stared. At her, at the envelope, the nightmare I hadn't yet named. She stepped forward, heels crackling against the gravel like gunfire. "It's simple," she said. "No messy divorce, no courtroom theatrics, just your signature and we move on. You stay my husband. Quiet, loyal, obedient. I get my freedom. Open relationship, multiple men, whenever, wherever. And you nod, smile, and stay in your lane." The bald one chuckled like he'd heard the punchline before. The other pulled a pen from his coat like it was a weapon. Claire waved the envelope like it was a party invite. "Sign it, and we all get to go home with our ribs intact." Still, I said nothing. My jaw locked like a rusted trap. Claire tilted, her head mocking me with syrup in her voice. "Don't act surprised, Ethan. You knew, deep down you knew. All those yoga retreats, deadlines. Please. You really believe that?" She laughed. "You're adorable." She was enjoying this, the humiliation, the power. And worst of all, she was right. Some part of me had known. The silent phone during showers, the smirks she tried to hide, the lies that tasted sweet only because I was starving. But this wasn't infidelity. This was theater. And she wanted it notarized. I stood, the tattooed one flinched. Claire raised her hand. "No need," she said softly. "He's not a fighter." She was wrong. I looked at her. Really looked at her. This was the same woman who used to cry in my arms at 2 a.m. because of bad dreams, who clung to me like I was a lighthouse during her father's funeral, who once whispered I was her home. Now she was selling that home like it was an old couch on Craigslist. Something inside me, something old and tired, gave out, quietly, like a gear slipping loose. I didn't yell, didn't run. I smiled. "You're right," I said gently. "Let's keep it simple." I reached for the pen. Claire beamed. I took the envelope. She looked smug. I signed. And then I laughed. Hard. The kind of laugh that doesn't sound like joy. It sounds like thunder cracking open. Claire blinked. "What's funny?" I looked up. "Cold, clear. This is where I get very complicated." I dropped the pen. "You wanted a show, Claire? Buckle up. You just greenlit a masterpiece." "Because betrayal? That's not the finale. That's the opening scene," Claire thought, dragging me into a field and breaking me made her powerful. What she forgot is what happens when a man has nothing left to lose. That night, I didn't cry. I calculated. I lay in bed next to her, silence, and stared at the ceiling, eyes wide open, mind wide awake. The next morning she left like she always did, heels clicking, lies rehearsed, heart absent. I stood in the stillness of the house we built and realized I'd been acting in a play where she wrote all the lines. But she made one mistake. She left her second phone on the counter. Her work phone. Only Claire didn't work. She said it was for clients. I picked it up, entered the only password she'd never change, her dead dog's birthday. It unlocked. Of course it did. Betrayal is nothing if not predictable. The messages were endless. Men saved under fake names. Janet, Dr. Steve, HR. One text read, "Your husband's face when we grabbed him. Priceless. You sure he's still worth keeping?" Her reply, "He's wallpaper. I don't even see him anymore. Let him rot." I didn't flinch. I didn't need to see the photos or watch the videos. The captions told me everything. He cried last night, still believes in us. LOL. He'll sign anything. He's pathetic. There was a time she could crush my self-worth with a sigh. Not anymore. Seeing her true voice, unfiltered, filthy, smug, something inside me aligned. This wasn't infidelity. It was annihilation. And I was done being erased. I uploaded everything, cloud, backup drives, private storage. I didn't just collect evidence, I built a damn war chest. When she came back that night, humming like she hadn't detonated our marriage, I was ready. You seem tense, she said, slipping out of her heels. Did you think about my offer? I smiled. A lot. She grinned. See? We're evolving, being adults. I said nothing. Her purse was wide open, burner phone inside. She didn't know I'd already seen it all, that I'd started pulling threads on the web she thought I'd never see. This time I wouldn't shout or beg. No, I'd delete her. One fake laugh at a time. One staged kiss on the cheek. I'd count each like toll bells before a burial. This wasn't a marriage anymore. It was a hunt. 3 days passed. I played the idiot husband. She loved it. The illusion of control. The power trip. She didn't know. I'd mapped every step, every text, every man. 2 names surfaced the most, Mason and Troy. Gym-bodied, brain-light, funded by shady deals and chemical rage. Then came Friday. Claire said she wanted dinner. For old time's sake, she said, with a wink that felt like poison. She wore red, always red when she wanted power. I grilled steaks, lit candles, played along. I was the warm-up act again, soft target before her late-night disappearance. She'd texted Troy before dinner. Wish me luck if he signs round 2s at your place. She toasted to growth. Whatever that meant, I toasted to silence. Then she pulled out the contract again. Same envelope, same nightmare. It's not about love anymore, Ethan, she said. It's about freedom, mine. And me? I asked. She smirked. You get to stay, be boring, be the stability. And just like that, snap, I stood, walked around the table, kissed the top of her head. She giggled, like I'd finally accepted being her emotional punching bag. Then I whispered, let's take a selfie for the memories. She stiffened. What? I grabbed her phone. No. Ethan. I smiled. Flipped the screen. Hit the home button by accident. It opened. No passcode. Front and center. A message thread. Troy. Top photo. Claire. Lingerie. His bed. And that was the real beginning. Timestamp 2:43 p.m. burned into my mind. Under it, that idiot husband still breathing? Claire lunged across the table. I stepped back, smile gone. You're done, I said. Flat. Final. Her eyes went wide. It's not what it looks like. I held up the phone. Is there another Claire in this photo? Maybe a twin you forgot to mention? She poured another glass of wine. Calm down, I was going to explain, eventually, but you're being so dramatic. You texted the man who assaulted me, asking if I was still breathing. To be continue. Part 2 coming soon. For Part 2, check link in description.